Hi everyone, this is Shay. Welcome and I hope you enjoy. Madame Sherri's Forest, W.Chesterfield, New Hampshire. Antoinette Vermeer was born in Paris in 1878. This is where she got married, did a little work in the theater, and also did some singing. She had many names over the years. She changed it to Antoinette Sherri shortly after moving to New York in 1911. Years later, while visiting West Chesterfield, New Hampshire, she fell in love with the area. The locals knew her as Madame Sherri, and in 1931 she built her dream home and would call it her castle. She threw extravagant and wild parties and was the talk of this small town. Madame Sherri was known to be an eccentric woman. She would dress up in elaborate outfits with matching hats. She would often be seen by the locals being chauffeured around in her fancy car wearing her fur coat. Although she spent a lot of time at the castle, she never actually lived there. Instead, she would live here, just in one room in this farmhouse. In 1959, the castle was robbed and vandalized, and Madame Sherri would never again return to her castle. In 1962, a fire destroyed the castle, and all that remains is the foundation, the fireplace, and the massive staircase. In 1965, she passed away in Brattleboro, Vermont, at a nursing home at the age of 84. She was a ward of the state. Sadly enough, that was the week she sold her property. Keep in mind that we've done this location a dozen times, so our experiences don't go back hours, they go back years. But here are a few of our experiences. One night, Nicole and I walked up to the giving tree. The giving tree is a hollowed out tree up a path that people leave little trinkets and gifts for the spirit. We heard the distinct sound of an old-fashioned rocking chair. Anybody that's had an old-fashioned rocking chair on a hardwood floor knows that sound it makes. There's a certain pattern to it, a creakiness, and you just know what it is. We tried to debunk it. We tried to figure out what else it could be. We couldn't figure it out at all. There's also a lot of shadow play there. There's also a lot of sensations of being touched or your arm stroked or being brushed up against. Also, Nicole has experienced children's whispers, children's cries, not in a distance. They were right there. We did debunk some other people's claims of screaming children because there are fisher cats there. We have also heard real cows in the area. We've heard trains a couple times, so there are other things going on there. There's also claims of things being tossed at you or things being flicked around. Also, that uneasy, anxious feeling you get when somebody's just too close in your face. This is a picture of the part of the foundation that leads directly into the bottom basement. Here are some pictures of the basement. As you can tell, it's falling apart, it's crumbling, it's been vandalized pretty severely. This experience started in the basement. We were all in the basement, and I got that uneasy, edgy, something was wrong feeling, so I decided to go upstairs by myself to just sit there. And I was just sitting there, sitting still, not moving. Later, when we listened back to the digital recorder, we heard, after I sat down and was sitting still, we heard somebody walk up to the recorder and actually tap it. A short time after that, I was still sitting in the same place, right across from the fireplace, and the digital recorder was still on the fireplace. We got one of our best EVPs ever. It was a creepiest voice, and it was saying, "Get out." Then a little bit later, we got even more. It wasn't as clear, but we got, "Keep talking and you'll see," or it was, "Keep taunting and you'll see." Roughly a year later, we were working at Greystar Paranormal Institute on a documentary about Madame Sherri's, and we were there investigating with them. And two things stand out. They had similar experiences. They also got an EVP right next to the fireplace, and they also got an anomaly of something that would remind you of the tapping from a year before on my recorder. Okay, so in these next couple pictures, you're going to see the general area of where my next experience happened. It just so happens to be the same area that not only we got our EVPs, the two I mentioned earlier, and the tapping noise, but also where Greystar got their two that I mentioned earlier. Okay, so 2 or 3, maybe 4 at the most times over a year or so, I would see these green floating lights. Sometimes they were white. Now, I want to say I'm not a huge orb fan. So I'm not saying they're orbs, I'm not saying they're spirits. I don't know what they are, which is why this is one of the strangest things I've seen. The first thing being at S.K. Paris Mansion. It's definitely runner-up. Okay, so as I was saying, I would see these green, sometimes white, floating light anomalies, and the last time I got a picture of it. Okay, so this is actually 10 to 12 feet off the ground. This picture is actually cropped so you guys can see it better. That's a tree on the right, and obviously you can see the white circle thing. I don't know what it is. And this I lightened up so you could see a little bit better. It's still the cropped image, but I just lightened it so you could see it a little better. I have no idea what it is. Like I said, I'm not an orb person, so no clue. If you have any ideas, let me know, please. So there you have it, a few of our experiences from Madame Sherri's. Until next time, good night, stay safe, and God bless.